On August 8, 1941, as the Kageros were completing construction and the Yugumos and Akazukis were underway, Japan started another new class of destroyer. This was the 2,567-ton Shimakaze Class. Let's get this out of the way first. Originally 16 were planned. In the event, only one was completed. Actually, only one was even started. She was completed May 10, 1943. On to the good stuff. The idea here was for a group of super destroyers to escort their super battleships. Destroyers that could charge in super fast, ostensibly at night, and put a whole gaggle of super torpedoes into the American battle line. Yeah, somebody was hitting the sake pretty hard. Then came the hangover. Somebody remembered why they were going to war in the first place. Yes, she was a Yagumo on steroids, but that wasn't what they needed, even if they had the time, money, or resources to build them. They weren't that much better, and they weren't the ships they needed. Gunpowder was a repeat of the Yugumos, which in a gunfight was still very respectable. The only real problem is they were still living under the delusion that these guns were dual purpose. Torpedo armament grew. Kind of. Not really. Actually, it shrank. By lengthening the hull to accommodate the more powerful machinery and improve length-to-beam ratio, they were able to add a third torpedo mount, something not seen since the Hatsuharus. And that worked out great. Except that whereas the Hatsuharus had triple mounts and the Yugumos had quad mounts, she had quintuple mounts. That's right, she could hurl 15 long lances at a time. On the other hand, compared to the Yugumos, with a narrower length-to-beam ratio, the weight of 3 quintuple mounts, and moving at higher speeds, their old friend, metacentric height, became a concern again. Cough. So to keep top weight down, no reloads were carried. This meant the smaller Asashios, Kageros, and Yugumos could carry 16 torpedoes, 8 ready and 8 reloads, whereas she could only carry 15. The star attraction, though, was really her engines. Main armament was 6 127mm 50 caliber guns in 3 twin turrets, 1 forward and 2 at the stern. These guns were capable of 75-degree elevation. Torpedo armament was 3 armored quintuple mounts, 1 between the funnels and 2 behind the rear funnel for the 610mm Type 93 long lance torpedo, all on the center line, allowing firing off either beam and all at the main deck level. 16 depth charges were carried along with 4 depth charge launchers, and she had the Type 93 sonar and Type 22 radar. Propulsion was provided by 3 boilers, 2 venting to the forward funnel and 1 venting to the aft funnel. These provided steam to the 2 turbines, which produced 79,200 horsepower, each driving one of the 2 propellers. This gave her a maximum speed of 41 knots. She had 1 rudder. Modifications were standard for a destroyer at her time. In March 1944, the depth charge stowage was increased to 36 and Type 13 radar was fitted. As always, the number of light and medium anti-aircraft guns spiraled up throughout her life. After entering service in mid-1943, she spent the 3rd quarter evacuating Kiska. She then spent the 4th quarter of 1943 and 1st quarter of 1944 escorting convoys from Japan to the Northern Solomons, Palau, East Indies, and back to Japan before a March-April refit. After that, she transferred with most of the rest of the surface fleet to the East Indies. She took part in the battles of the Philippine Sea and Leyte Gulf as part of Center Force, returning to the East Indies after Leyte. In mid-November 1944, she escorted a convoy to Ormoc. While there on November 11th, she was attacked by carrier aircraft, blew up, and sank.